Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here. Let's see, what am I gonna film? I'm going to be weekly checking in for week 4 and 5 of my December monthly budget, which was so long ago, and I was hoping to get a video up for week 4, but I don't know why it didn't end up working out. And then at the end, I was just like, I'm just gonna include it with my December budget results videos. So that means that this video is going to be very, very long. But I'm all ready. So the last time that we saw each other, we checked in for, I think, the 14th until the 20th. So today we're going to do the 21st to the 27th, and then the last couple of days of December. So I have my budget expense stickers here all ready to go, and I'm just gonna get into it. I'm also going to be closing out my actual monthly budget here, and that will happen once I'm all done here. So I'm going to quickly write out my categories. Okay, so I'm gonna go through all of my trackers here, which I keep in my micro happy notes, which this is going to be changing, or just the trackers where I keep my cash envelope trackers is going to change for 2021. So make sure you stay tuned for my week 1 check-in for January. But I'm just gonna quickly go through these. I'm probably gonna fast forward this part because, like I mentioned, there's a lot that we need to get done. So let's get started laying down these stickers. All right, so I have all of those stickers laid down, and now before I move into the weekly check-ins, I feel like I keep going back and forth between these no spend stickers that I have, like this full sheet, and the smaller one. So I'm just gonna get through this bigger sheet since I have it. So the last 2 weeks of December, I had a no spend on the 22nd, on the 25th, on the 26th, on the 27th, and on the 31st. So there are all of my no spends. I can also check off my phone bill. That did come out, of course. And I think I'm gonna count all of my no spend days. And I don't typically do this, but I'm thinking I might end up putting it in my notes section here of my monthly view. So since this is the only no spend sticker I have, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it up there, and I'll go ahead and write how many no spend days I've had this month. Let me go ahead and count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 no spend days. So I will go ahead and put 11 right there. I don't know why I was thinking of doing that, but let's see, what else can we mark? I guess that's pretty much it. Okay, so now that I have all those stickers laid down, I'm going to weekly check in really quickly for the 21st until the 27th, and then the 28th until the 31st. So from the 21st until the 27th, I have one grocery expense for Portos, which I've mentioned in the beginning of December that I had added a bit more money for my groceries cash envelope, and I'm glad that I did, because we ended up picking up some pastries at Portos and a cake. So that's kind of where I took the money out. I wasn't sure if I should be taking out of eating out or groceries, but since I did increase the amount for this month, I just thought that it'd be perfect to just get it for that, since it was for Christmas Eve. I'm going to go ahead and write $45 for spent. And last week I had 92, so that means that at the end of this week, I had $47 remaining for groceries. Then I'd have 2 expenses for household, both from Target, 53 and 11, so that's 64. So $64 here, and last week I had 71. So that means that remaining I had $7 this week. And then eating out, I also had two expenses. One was for Popeyes, that was $10. And then we did get Lucille's on the 23rd, me and Paul, which is decided to split that. I was thinking of getting this money from my date night sinking fund, but since I had a pretty good amount of eating out money, especially because I had rollover money from the month prior, I just thought that I could take the money out of here. So after Popeyes, well, Popeyes and Lucille's was 35. So 35 for eating out. So that means that after Popeyes and Lucille's, I had a total of $36. Because I had 71 last week, like I mentioned. And then for allowance, I'm going to off the bat write a 0 for both weeks because I actually didn't spend any money from my allowance, which is good because, as you guys know, I like to roll over any allowance cash envelope money that I have at the end of the month to my allowance sinking fund. So for allowance, I have 80 remaining there. And then I don't think, no, I didn't spend any money this week for beauty. So we'll put another 0. And I know I didn't pump gas. I only ended up pumping gas once in the month of December. So I'm just going to write, how much did I have? 161 for beauty and 35 here. And there are no red stickers, which would mean an unbudgeted expense. So I'm going to just write a 0 here. I don't have any, yeah, I didn't have any this whole month, which is perfect. And that's what we like to hear. So I'm also just going to put, well, we'll get there when we get to that. But that is the remaining amounts that I had for my cash envelope for the second to last week. Now for week 5, going back and forth again, I had one grocery expense for $47. And the reason it was actually more than $47, I think I only had $47 left in my groceries cash envelope. So I think I just told Paul that that's pretty much all that I had. So he just ended up paying, I want to say it was like $60 in total. So not too bad. So that means that I don't have any money remaining here for groceries. Then for household, I didn't spend any more money this week. So I should still have $7 in here, which I have my cash envelopes. I'm so sad that I'm not using them anymore, but I am very excited about the cash envelopes that I'm using for this month. So that's okay. So there's nothing in groceries, like I mentioned, and then there's $7 in here, which I do think I'm gonna end up rolling over these $7 to this month's cash envelopes. So I'm just gonna put this on the side here so I can make sure to roll that over. And it's perfect because my weekly check-in starting in the month of January does have a section for you to put any rollover money. So that was for household. And then for eating out, I have two expenses. One was for McDonald's. I don't even know why I was craving McDonald's, but I did get that before my nail appointment. So that was 11. And then I had Waba Grill on the 29th, which was a total of $24. So 24, and we had 36 last week, or the week before that. So that means that I have $12 remaining. So under budget by $12. And like I mentioned, nothing for allowance. So we still had $80 at the end of the month, which is so great to hear. Then for beauty, I did get my nails done. Like I mentioned, I got a fill for the nails that you guys are seeing right now, which I absolutely love them. And that was $81. So $81 spent. And I had $161 last week. So we now have remaining $80 as well, which is so funny. This always happens. Okay, so $80 for beauty. And then for gas, like I mentioned, I know I don't have, yeah, there's nothing else in here. So 0 for both of these. 35 remaining for gas, and just a dash because we don't budget anything from budgeted. So that is pretty much how we ended the weeks with our cash envelopes. I do have the rest, like I mentioned here. So I counted household. Eating out, I have $12 here, which I will also be rolling over once again. So put this to the side. Allowance, we had 80, which this will go to 50, 70, and 80. These $80 will go to my allowance sinking fund. So this I'm going to put right here because I'm going to add it to my sinking funds page. And then beauty has 80 as well. So 50, 75, and 80. These are beauty. So this is for beauty, which I will also be, once again, rolling over. The only cash envelope that I'm not going to be rolling over is gas, because I already feel like I overstuffed for January as a whole. So I'm going to probably put this money in my to-bank envelope that I have for whenever I make online purchases. So that's where this is going to go. And you guys will see in a second how all of this will look in my actual monthly budget spread. Also, sorry I've been like this way all this time. I kind of have my camera set up a little weird, but that is what we have for my cash envelopes. And now before I go ahead and close out my monthly budget, I wanted to go ahead and close out my sinking funds. These have been all of the transactions that I've had from my sinking funds, which is why they're separate from everything else. So I wanted to zoom in just a little bit to let you guys know what other transactions I've had since the last time we saw each other. So I believe most of them were Christmas related purchases, like stocking stuffers, yeah, a bunch of that, scratchers, and I did spend $12 for a pop for Paul, so that I took out of my date night sinking fund. And then last but not least, I did buy new leggings from Target, and that came out of clothing on the 23rd for $15. So now that I have all that set up, I'm going to bring you guys to this spread. Okay, so like I mentioned, I do like to stuff this allowance sinking fund with whatever I'm rolling over from my allowance cash envelope. So I know that I had, like I mentioned, $80 that are going towards this, but I did spend the 99 that were in here. So I'm just going to write 99 here, and that means that I'm ending with 80 here. Then, so I don't have to open my planner back and forth. I just went ahead and took a picture just for, video purposes. But for adventures, there were no transactions. So this is going to have 0. And I'm just going to go ahead and add everything here. So 280 plus the 50 that I added in the beginning means that I am ending with $330 for adventures. Then for birthdays, I started with 78, then added 32, and I actually didn't end up spending money for this. So I am ending with 110 here. Then nothing came out of card maintenance. I think the only sinking funds that I actually used were Christmas, allowance, card tags, clothing, date night. I didn't even use entertainment. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put zeros here because there's no point of me going back and forth with these. I didn't use miscellaneous, and of course I didn't use my per trip. So okay, for card tags, I spent $257. For Christmas, I have quite a few transactions. So let me go ahead and add these together. We have 2072 plus 18 plus 3980 plus 104.89. That is a total of 191.41 spent. Then for clothing, I only ended up spending $15. And for date night, that was a total of $33 spent. And now we can go ahead and do some math. So 193 plus 57, so 250 for car maintenance, 373 for car payment. For car tags, I don't have any money left. So I'm just going to write 0 here. I'm starting with 0 in the month of January. Then Christmas, I believe I do have some leftover money. So $57.91 plus 150 minus 191.41 means that I'm ending with $16.50 for Christmas, which I'm so happy. I'm not going to talk about too much, but I'm so happy that I had that Christmas sinking fund and that I stuffed that into the very end, because I was able to get all the presents that I wanted to get for my family, as well as stocking stuffers. So really, really happy that I didn't have to once again dip into like my savings or use any of my credit cards for Christmas presents. So you guys know how much I love my Christmas sinking fund. Now for clothing, I started with $1, added 50 and used 15. So I am ending with $36 for clothing. Then date night, I spent 33, so that means that I am ending with $17 here. Electricity has $250. Entertainment still has 30. Medical should still have 100. And miscellaneous should have 50. And then of course for per trip, this number has not changed in many, many months, but those are all of the numbers, and I'm quickly going to add all of my columns here because I wasn't able to add them in the beginning of the month since I do have that allowance sinking fund pending. So let's see. So the totals are for beginning $2,620 with 91 cents. For what I added this month is $817. For what I spent is $595.41. And then what I'm ending with for the month of December is $2,842 with 50 cents in my sinking funds, which, as I've mentioned before, I do treat sinking funds as savings. So this is quite a bit of money aside from what I've saved over the year. So I'm really, really happy that I started sinking funds when I did. I believe I've had them for like over 2 years now, and I definitely suggest anyone start sinking funds, no matter how small the amounts are that you're adding every month. It's just nice to know that you're saving for something specific, and that you won't have to worry about it in the future. So that is how I go about closing out my sinking funds. And now that I'm done with this page, I can go ahead and move on to my monthly budget spread. The last thing that I do want to mention is that I've only had one expense since the last time that we saw each other, one business expense here, because one of my main goals for December of 2020 was to make any business expenses, if at all, from this page, which I think I did a pretty good job. Usually this list is pretty full, and this time around I only had 5, which the last one that I had was $15 for Epidemic Sound, which is where I get all the music for my videos, which that actually paid off quite a bit this month since I did Vlogmas and I got all of my music from there. So that is what I have for this variable income page. I also went ahead and added a couple new sources like ShareASale, Amazon, and of course my shop. This is extra income that I put towards my debt. So that's how I was able to make an extra debt payment this month. And then is that it? Yeah, I just had a shipping expense of $882 as well. But now, if you guys would have seen my debt snowball update, then you guys know that I was actually able to make an extra debt payment of $669 with 23 cents. So I'm actually going to put it right here. So 669 with 23 cents. And I always get questions as to why I don't just end up putting the extra debt payment in my variable expenses side. And the main reason is because, like I mentioned, I work with whatever extra income my shop makes, and I wouldn't want to disappoint myself if, let's say, I have a goal of paying $1,000 and I only end up paying $800, or I have a goal of paying $400 and then I pay $900, which would then mean that I was over by $500. So to me, I don't like seeing any red pens, which would, well, in this case, it would be a green pen, which is what I'm using this time around. But I don't like to put it in my variable expenses because I feel like it makes me think that I'm overspending, or it will kind of, in a way, discourage me because I would think, oh, I didn't meet my goal this month. Like, what am I doing? Which is not bad. I actually am very proud of how much I'm able to put towards my debt, or have been able to put for this past year. So it's all about what works for you. But for me, I'm going to probably keep putting it as a fixed expense rather than a variable expense. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and write all of my actuals, which for the most part, they're all going to be the same with the exception of gas, since I am going to be rolling over the amount for like groceries was a total of $300 spend this month. For the month of January, I don't know if you guys have checked out my January monthly budget video, but I'm hoping to decrease my groceries cash envelope spending. So definitely stay tuned and see how I do my weekly check-ins. For eating out, I did have, like I mentioned, a couple of dollars left, but I'm just going to put $125 here since I'm going to be rolling over that amount. Same as household. Since I'm not going to be rolling over my gas, I'm only going to put $35 in here, which means that I was under by $35. Yeah, $35. Then for allowance, I'm going to put $100 since I already rolled over this amount to my allowance sinking fund. So a dash here. The same with beauty. $250 here. And then for phone bill, that actually was a bit less than this, which is good. Yeah, so I paid a total of $104.26 for my phone bill. So $104.26. So that means that I was under by $574, and then there were no unbudgeted expenses. So all in all, I was under budget, which is so great, and definitely a great way to end the year. Am I right? So now I'm going to go ahead and add all of my actual amounts so that we can see what our totals are. So in total, I spent $1,039.26 for variable expenses, and then I'm just going to go ahead and add my variance, which is a total of $40.74. And then I can now also add my fixed expenses. So let's see. That equals to $3,122.87. And now that I'm done with this, I can go ahead and bring all those numbers down here. So I'm going to put income, and of course, once I am done filming this video, I will go ahead and write out my expected and actual income, and then I'll be able to see how much money I was able to save for this month. So let's go ahead and put the budget amount for my variable and fixed expenses, like so. And then it's going to be the same thing for fixed, for both budgeted and actual. Like so. Yeah, so once I am done, like I mentioned with this video, I'm going to put my expected and actual income, and then I'll go ahead and subtract all of my expenses from my income, and whatever I have left over, I'm going to go ahead and put it here with this little piggy bank. And that is going to be it for me closing out December's monthly budget. I really hope you guys enjoyed coming along this long but very important process to my monthly budget. If you guys enjoyed this video, please, as always, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you guys are not subscribed already, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys on tomorrow's video. Bye guys.